So BBC is under fire, and it's actually losing a lot of trust from the audience. People are losing a lot of trust from BBC just because of a lot of impartiality. Some people allegedly are saying there's a lot of, should I say, a lot of unfairness actually. So I have a segment here that I'll be playing for you shortly where Pastor Chris is actually speaking how about the press lied against him. You know, people, once they see something that maybe it's online, it's done by a repetitive, done by a very respected press, they just tend to assume and imagine whatever that information is actually true. But that is not the case always, because even these big medias, they always have court cases here and there, some of defamation, slander, and all that, because of should I say fake news, or should I say sometimes they choose to do stories without thorough investigation, or even when they choose to do that story, they don't have impartiality, in the sense that they seem to be supporting, they seem just to be one-sided and not really being fair, just to get actually a two-sided response. Like, for example, the documentary by TB Joshua. On that documentary, it was just a one-sided story. We didn't get to hear anyone now who was presently at SCON just to give response. I think it could have been fair if we had the wife there, Pastor Evelyn, if we had the wife there just to give a response of some of the things that were claimed were done by his husband, because you all know the husband is not there, he's passed on. So I feel there was a lot of wasn't fair at all, but something is happening. You see, BBC is under fire. I know this could be good news to some people, but let us just get to listen to this briefly before we play that clip by Pastor Chris.
Lovely to see you there. We're trying to work out what you're trying to do with the BBC, or what is the problem with the BBC. How do you see that?
Well, look, the BBC is a really valued institution, but it's really important that it maintains the public's trust, particularly as it's paid for by the licence fee payer. And some audiences think the BBC is biased. Others are very, very frustrated with the complaints system. So what we've announced today is a mid-term review, which will be fundamental reforms to ensure that the BBC is more impartial, and also that those complaints are handled more independently and there's further scrutiny, so that audiences feel like their issues are being listened to.
Of the concerns that the audience...
So you had that. Yeah, so there's been a lot of that impartiality. You see, the impartiality actually is the fact of not supporting any of the sides involved in an argument. And that is a very, very key thing, especially to the whole ethical journalism, because there has to be a lot of fairness, because you can't just report a one-sided story and you're there just trying to push your own narrative. That is no longer journalism. That is you just drawing conclusion. Journalism is not about drawing conclusion, but it's about you giving that story the way it is, with all fairness and all truth. So that documentary that they did about TB Joshua, actually there's been a lot of controversies that has been going on, not even from those victims, some of them that were in that documentary. The first time I was watching that documentary, I wasn't really sure about everything. But after everything that has been going on, everything that has been coming up with a lot of controversy, lifestyle from the victims themselves, and also now you can have a look. BBC now is under fire currently. There's just so much going on. There's been a lot of uproar and complaints from actually the audience. People are not actually happy with it because of its way of reporting. So let's just have a look here at what Pastor Chris is sharing here.
No one needs to be afraid. And this is the reason they are fighting to stop people from having the freedom to give information because they want to be the only ones that give information. Why should we allow men who can tell lies at home, tell lies to their friends? Why should we allow them to control the whole world with their own information? It's unacceptable. I, as an individual, I know that the press doesn't tell the truth all the time. In fact, most of the times they lie. Why? Because they lied about me too. Yes, you see, you can know yourself more than anybody else. So when they told things about me that I knew were not true, I now knew that, oh, these people tell lies. Because I could prove it by myself. That they lied. If they never lied about me, maybe I won't be sure whether or not they tell lies. But I can tell you, they tell a lot of lies. A lot of lies. Some years ago, one recognized newspaper in South Africa published something. They said that I gave money to somebody and planned with him and told him that he should stand up from the wheelchair. So I bribed him. I bribed him with money. You know, I didn't reply you since then. I knew that the day, you know, I was so cross about it then. I thought of taking them to court. But the Spirit of God said, no, don't do that. I knew that one day I will have a mouth that is bigger than theirs. Those who stood up from the wheelchairs in their homes, did I give them money? You saw some. Did I give them money?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I always love Pastor Chris' mentality. So he had no time to go to court and everything and do all that. So sometimes, yes, a press can give out information. Maybe it's a bit slanderous and all that, but you might wonder why doesn't, if it's a lie, why doesn't the other party choose to go to court? So you see, people have different reasons. That's the way you've had for Pastor Chris. Pastor Chris, he was actually about to sue them, but God asked him not to, just because a time will come that his voice will actually be bigger than them. And I remember even there's another message that he preached and said that it gets to a level that if a press is writing something about you and you don't like it, you go and you buy that press, and then now you make them write what you want. Yeah. So there are different reasons why people might not choose to actually go ahead and even and sue that broadcast station. But as the Bible says, the battle is not ours, but the battle is of the Lord. So no matter how slanderous or defamatory they choose to speak about you, the battle is not yours, but the battle is of the Lord. So BBC did what they did. They brought out that story. It actually has millions and millions of views on YouTube. I'm sure that story has been of impact, definitely. If you check the comment section on that video, there's some people who have even lost they have lost confidence in Christianity generally, and they have lost even confidence in God of power, God still doing miracles, just because of that documentary. But there are people as well who have chosen to remain unmoved and still believe in God, still believe in the power of God. So I don't know where you are. But the battle is not ours, but the battle is of the Lord. So all these times that you're reading about men of God in your presses, in those newspapers, in magazines, right here on YouTube, all these documentaries that they are exposing and all these, not everything you hear about is actually truth. Some of these people have just very weird and very satanic and devilish motives That's why they choose to do what they do. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Yeah, but give this video a like. Give this video a like right there. BBC is finally under fire. Yeah, it's time. It's time. It's about time. So let me know what you think about this right there on the comment section. Let me know what you think about all this. It will be great actually to hear from you. So subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you on the next video.